We all know that war brings nothing but destruction, devastation, and death. But did you know that there is also a group of historians and researchers who believe that without wars, humanity might never have become this organized and advanced? This may sound shocking or even upsetting, but there is some solid logic behind it. Famous historians Ian Morris and Charles Tilly argue that wars make states. In ancient times, humans lived in small, scattered groups that constantly fought each other. The fear of these conflicts pushed people to unite and build larger states so they could defend themselves. To run these larger states, systems of taxation were created, along with police forces and the rule of law. What's even more surprising is that during the Stone Age, the rate of violent deaths was as high as 20%. But as states became stronger, by the 20th century this rate had dropped to only 1 to 2%. In other words, wars eventually helped make societies internally safer. And that's not all. Much of the technology we use today actually has roots in warfare. Internet, something we can no longer imagine life without, began as a military project of the U.S. Department of Defense called ARPANET, designed to keep communication secure in the event of a nuclear attack. Microwave oven. This came from radar technology developed during World War II to detect enemy aircraft. Space travel. The space race between the United States and the Soviet Union was essentially a competition to prove superior military power, yet it ultimately took humanity to the moon. But here comes the big however. The cost of war is unimaginably high. According to a 2012 estimate, violence and wars caused the global economy a loss of $9.46 trillion, which amounted to 11% of the world's total income, destroyed hospitals, the displacement of millions of people, and the psychological trauma of PTSD, whose scars often never fully heal, are wounds of war that can last forever. And most importantly, while wars in the past may have helped build states, in today's nuclear age, a major war would no longer mean the rise of a new state. It could mean the end of humanity itself. That is why the world has increasingly chosen the path of economic cooperation instead of war. The European Union is a perfect example, where countries have connected their economies so deeply that war is no longer in their own interest. The conclusion is clear. History shows that humanity learned and progressed through disasters and conflicts, but we have now reached a point where war is no longer a path to progress. It is the equivalent of collective suicide.